But you signed up for it. Oh, wait. Good morning and welcome back to Gaming with ADHD, where apparently the Peanut Gallery has decided she's going to be all sorts of a goofball and throw me off my game. But that's fine. I like her. So, anyways, I am your host, Brian, and I'm joined today by who are you? Introduce yourselves for those who may not know already.
I am Meow. I mean, Peanut Gallery.
Peanut Gallery. Let's be honest, we've talked about you enough. You know, everybody might know.
Rude.
Not in a negative way.
Are you sure you like to throw me under the bus?
No, you think I throw you under the bus.
You don't realize how much you do throw me on the bus. I have to call you out on it.
Again.
That's how this works.
That's your perspective.
Correct.
Anyhow, so yes, this is Kim. She's my other half. I like her. And for those of you who were here for when we did the My Little Pony role-playing game,
I am your symbolic rib.
I am your symbolic rib. That is also a valid argument. Anyways, so she joined us for the My Little Pony deep dive, and as payback, I told her that
I'm paying you back? That seems lopsided.
You're probably not wrong, but here we are. Anyways, as
wait, is this supposed to be kid friendly?
Yes.
You sure?
No more than PG-13.
Okay, because I was going to say something that I just noticed, but maybe I'll hold back.
Right.
I'll message you. How about that in a private chat?
Anyways, point being, she joined me for My Little Pony, and she enjoyed it for some reason, and wanted to come back. And so I thought, since I looked at a role-playing game that she is interested in with My Little Pony, and for the record, I'm not trying to knock My Little Pony. I'm not trying to say I did it under duress. I'm just saying it was, that was the reasoning we did it. But I'm not. No,
you're gonna play and you're gonna be a pony.
Right. Anyways, but again, it was a lot of fun. And so I thought that this time when she came back, we could actually cover one of my favorite subjects, which is Batman. And she is absolutely an enabler of that. So just saying.
I'm just saying your latest obsession is He-Man.
A little bit, but they don't have a He-Man role-playing game.
Well, then somebody's going to get on that because of the movie and all that.
That's true. I would be shocked if we don't see something within the next few months.
I just think you have more He-Man toys than you have Batman toys.
I do, but that's a whole. I don't know. The toys for Batman just aren't inspiring, and getting like and let's be honest, I don't really buy the He-Man toys as much as like, oh, that's on sale, that's on clearance, so it's not like I'm obsessing and I have to get every single copy. I'm
a collection.
It is a collection. I'm not saying it's not, but it is absolutely like I'm doing it on a budget. I'm trying to be responsible. I am opening the figures anyways, because let's be honest, the grandbaby, I'm going to play He-Man with the grandbaby, and it's going to be great. So Anyways, but regardless, Batman's one of my favorites. And so I thought it would be fun for her to join me to cover Batman. And so that's what we are doing today. We did start last week, but obviously due to some emergencies, she was not able to join me, but she's here today. And I'm happy that she's here. So, and she's super excited to be here. You can all tell. All right. So how about we start with this? Since we are, back to, waiting for, a few people to show up.
We showed up. That's all that matters.
That's true. We showed up. What is it that you like about Batman?
Well, honestly, I haven't paid attention to the comics like you have, so I really don't know all of the backstories and the lores, but I did go ahead and study, if you will, by watching the first and the second Batman movies with Michael Keaton, who, interestingly enough, is, now that I'm an old lady, I find mildly attractive. Also, a very young Jack Nicholson is mildly attractive. It's very strange, very strange. But yeah, that was my source material growing up watching the Batman movies. Some of them I think in theater, some of them not in theater. I know in high school, I think it was when that crummy one with the Riddler and what's his name? The one that played Arnold Schwarzenegger.
George Clooney.
No, I know. I'm talking about the bad guys. I always remember the movie by the bad guys, not necessarily the hero.
That was the Riddler starring Jim Carrey and Two-Face starring Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that was the same one, I think, that had that Seal song, Kiss by the Rose or Kiss of the Rose or something like that.
No, I think anyways,
I just remembered that. What?
I think that was the fourth one, which had Bane and Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy.
Was that it? Okay, could be. That might be it. I just
Val
don't remember
Kilmer.
exactly. I just remember that song was out and it was on the radio all the time. So that was like a core memory for some reason. Anyway.
Okay.
I come on. You remember public speaking. I did a whole freaking talk about the Titanic music. I'm a little weird and like music.
That's fine. I didn't say anything.
In movies and such.
I wasn't complaining. I wasn't trying to make fun of you.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Sure about that? You sure didn't want to make fun of me for that Titanic speech in communications class?
I don't remember the speech at all. I just remember the cute redhead in front of the class. That's all.
I don't even remember all of your speech when you were talking about how to put a computer together, or when you were talking about that really dumb book that I will never read. What was that dumb book that you liked?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, that dumb book.
A worldwide classic.
Classic for nerds. Just saying. I'm not a nerd. I mean, I'm nerd adjacent, but I'm not like nerd. Oh, isn't that one of your friends' name was Nerds Nerd?
Yes, yeah. Nerd.
Okay. I'm not that, but I'm nerd adjacent. Yeah.
That's fair, but
that was a tangent. Anyway, so yeah, Batman movies watched. I have a brother, so I've been exposed to boy stuff. And and you're asking me what I like about Batman. I do like Batman. He's hot. Yeah. I don't think there's a version of Batman that isn't hot. What's his butt that married J-Lo for a hot minute? What's that like? Oh, Ben Affleck. Yeah, he's a loser, so I won't say he's hot. But yeah. Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people that would objectively disagree with you.
Black muscle suits. I did like me some Jim Carrey growing up from watching In Living Color. Anyway, so I think I like that movie because he was in it, kind of thing.
I'm still going to make the argument that Jim Carrey should not have been the Riddler. He should have been the Joker. But I understand that timeline-wise, Jim Carrey wasn't as famous and Jack Nicholson would have been a bigger draw. So I get that. But the Riddler is much more cerebral, would have been much better played by Jack
So,
Nicholson.
another interesting tidbit growing up in high school. I was in a chemistry class, hated it, but whatever. And this other kid was in our class, this guy. I nicknamed him Robin because he reminded me of Robin from
Chris
Batman.
O'Donnell.
Not really, just I think I was gravitating more towards the comic. And then he would call me Joker because I have the Joker smile. You know, so yeah. I'm Joker.
No, you're Catwoman. Anyways,
I'm Catwoman. I just don't think I could pull off the that suit.
the
That
cat suit.
yeah, that thing. I can't. I mean, I would need a few spanks at least to hold all that mommy stretched out stuff. Anyway, maybe a corset or two. I got the curve.
I'm
Or
I'm
PG
okay with
here.
this.
PG.
I'm
maybe
okay. You
leaning
didn't
PG
say
13.
anything wrong.
Just saying.
But it is the internet, so you have spawned a plethora of simps.
There's nobody
Anyways,
commenting, right?
not yet. Anyways,
Okay.
we'll get there.
Exactly.
All right. Well, with that out of the way,
did that answer your question? I felt like I went on 10 different tangents.
you went on all the tangents, but
It was a
that's
journey.
fine. We were stalling for time anyways, so I was letting you.
It was a bad journey. Oh wait, I do remember watching the cartoons. What time did they play that? I'm not the cartoons. Sorry, my bad. The old original TV series.
The Adam West
Adam
show.
West. Yes, I watched that a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's one of my first Batman memories. But they've also, I mean, then there is also Batman the Animated Series, which is just still amazing television.
I watched that aplenty as well, and then Batman Beyond.
Yes,
man. Can you? I mean, like, how many years old? Like over 20 years old. Those shows, like maybe 30 now.
Yeah, Batman Beyond. Ooh,
we're
now I
so
need to.
Old.
Batman Beyond. 1999.
Yeah, we were married already. What? When did we watch that show? Did it come
when
on?
It came out?
I know, but when? Like, what time of day? I don't even know when.
I think it was Sunday morning. I think we were watching that instead of going to church.
Right. Well, no, I know because we watched Pokemon, and then I guess it was Batman Beyond.
Probably. Man, that was.
At least our parents don't watch this.
Man, that was many years ago.
Many moons ago. Don't you feel old yet?
And how?
You know what? I bet you're as old as old Batman and Batman Beyond now. No, I'm just kidding. You're not that old. You're getting there.
You are the worst.
You were the one that invited me to this.
So. I did. I still don't regret my choice. All right. Well, with that said, obviously, I assume we are going to have a lot of fun Batman memories as we go through. But at this point, we should probably go ahead and get started if we're ever going to finish so I can go to work. So, with that said, everybody, don't forget while we're reading and going through the book, don't hesitate to hit that like button if you like these kinds of videos. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more. This is going to be this is going to be our Tuesday stream, which might be interrupted in a couple of weeks, but we are still finalizing a couple of details. So, you know,
how do you mean it will be? Oh wait, no, because we would have normally done this on a Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Why does it feel like Wednesday? Anyway,
I hope it's not Wednesday. Otherwise, we're late for exercise.
I know. Ben would be so disappointed.
Exactly. All right. So, and of course, do us a favor while we're talking and drop a comment. If you're watching this on the replay, drop a comment. Let us know what your favorite Batman memory is, and we'll see how it matches up with what we said. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, what are we talking about today, Peanut Gallery?
I thought you said we were going to make a character.
We're not making characters, but we're going to read
No.
through the character creation
We're
process.
talking about making characters.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, if I was more prepared, like we could have character sheets ready and do everything we need to. But it's me.
Prepared.
So,
Who
we kind
does
of
that?
we kind of just, wing it.
That's your
So-
favorite what modus operandi?
Exactly. Winging it 101. All right. So, part 1, the heroes. Chapter 1, creating your character. All right. Let's see. There we go. In order to experience the adventures of Gotham City, each player has to create a character that fits the type of scenario the GM wants them to play in. Batman the RPG has a host of heroes on offer to players, including police officers, masked crime fighters, ordinary citizens, and even criminals. The overarching story, the plot twists, and the enemy's strength can vary heavily depending on who the scenario is aimed at. Creating a character allows the player to determine the level of physical strength, intelligence, and fighting skills that will define their alter ego, as well as the skills and abilities that reflect the character's backstory and training. All this information is notated on the character sheet during the creation and will be needed throughout the game. Naturally, all these rules apply when creating the enemies that the heroes will encounter during their adventures. There are also rules for creating non-player characters with simplified stats. Here are the steps for creating a character. Number 1, choose a creation mode depending on the player's preferences and the type of adventures they will be taking part in. Number 2, choose a profile, either predetermined or generic from those that correspond with the chosen creation mode. Number 3, choose a trait for the hero and possibly add a couple of disadvantages, as these give extra points to use for buying primary characteristics. Number 4, determine the scores of the primary characteristics: strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, perception, and willpower via a system of purchase by points. Number 5, determine the other factors: the combat characteristics, exploit points, and hit points. Number 6, determine the experience level the hero starts with. And number 7, choose the hero's ways and capacities based on their profile and level of experience.
You're not done.
Not done. All right. Number 8, determine their ethics score, especially important for heroes created in the Shadows of Gotham City mode. Number 9, determine which languages the hero knows how to speak. And number 10, think about the hero's past, using the advice given in Chapter 3, the role of the heroes becoming a character in Gotham City.
So what kind of language would be talking cat? Because I'm sure Catwoman talks to the cats. So wouldn't that be a language?
She talks to them, but that doesn't mean they talk back.
They meow at her. Otherwise,
right.
I bet you anything they do talk to her. I'm just saying.
It's Batman, not Thundercats.
Well, I don't know. I feel like it could be a thing. Like Catwoman would have like cat familiars. How would they communicate?
They don't, because again, the game is more of, so that's one of the things that
it's not fantasy then.
It's not fantasy. It's Batman. Because remember, technically, you could be Batman. Real quick, welcome Joe O4008. Good dive for the Gotham universe. This game knocks it out of the park. So far, that's what I'm thinking. All we got to get through last week was the introduction, but I really like the way they presented it. So, anyways, that's why we're back. But remember, technically, like one of the strong points about Batman, like especially like why it's so popular with kids and things like that, is because you can technically see yourself becoming Batman. If you had enough money, if you had enough time to train, you could do the things that Batman does. And
with all the gadgets.
Right. I mean, theoretically, you could make all the gadgets.
with the
Um,
bat gadgets.
exactly. So it absolutely is one of those things where, you know, like as I my suspicion is that, like, I mean, obviously they have like some of the super powered characters because there are some of the fantastical elements, but even then, your primary characters, your primary villains, even are still those, quote unquote mortal or normal heroes.
Right.
So,
I mean,
and
even Penguin is mortal. He just has gadgets to help him damage things.
right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, technically, Penguin isn't supposed to be a supervillain. He's he's just like got disabilities and turns into a crime boss. So
And there's a lot of mobster characters.
well, yeah. I mean, that's
Wait,
one of
when was the actual story set? Was it the 20s or was it 30s, 40s?
I believe the original Batman was the 30s.
Okay.
Um 1939. Later than I thought. I mean, I used
Yeah.
to know it at one point, so there's that. Um which oh, nice. All right, I already had it on the list. Um so yeah, so it but yeah, it was like he originally came out in Detective Comics. It wasn't supposed to be this super powered character. It was supposed to be a detective. He's supposed to be fighting, crime and crime bosses. The rogues gallery that Batman's so famous for came much much later. Well, not much later, but like, obviously evolved over time. But even like the original incarnation of the Joker comes from organized crime and mobsters, because again, especially for the 30s, I mean, that was very very easy to relate to. So anyways, all right, why don't you tell us about choosing a creation mode?
All right. To help players become any of the numerous characters on offer in Gotham City Batman, the RPG provides three creation modes that correspond not only to three distinct types of hero, but also to three types of adventure. Uh, Number one, the Streets of Gotham City mode is perfect for creating heroes for a police investigation type scenario, or one that takes place in the alleyways and seedy neighborhoods of Gotham City. You can be someone like a police detective, journalist, gangster, attorney, private detective, FBI agent, burglar, soldier, or crook. These profiles available are simple citizens, members of the forces of law and order, and even criminals. Basically, ordinary people designed for something extraordinary.
Exactly.
Number two, the Shadows of Gotham City mode enables you to create heroes for truly heroic scenarios in which colorful characters with extraordinary physical and or mental capacities operate on the borderline of what is legal while facing formidable enemies. This is the mode for anyone willing to play a crime fighter or supervillain who does not have supernatural powers, like the members of the Batman family, or characters like the Penguin, Two-Face, the Architect, Hush, or Harley Quinn. And third, the Wonders of Gotham City mode is for creating heroes for epic scenarios in which characters with superpowers have to save Gotham City from major threats. This is the mode for playing characters like Black Canary, Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, Solomon Grundy, and Clayface. Exceptional characters for exceptional adventures.
So this, so far, I have to say, this is one of my favorite things about this game for the little that I've been able to look into it. Um, the fact that they're, number one, they're acknowledging the different power levels that you can find in a Batman story, and then also giving you rules to work with those, so you don't have like, you don't have to, automatically deal with, Superman level powers, or you're only able to play as cops, and Batman is in the background. So I really like how they presented that.
All right, well, now the book is telling us the differences between. The three modes change the character profiles and the ways that they can access. For example, heroes created in the Streets of Gotham City mode only have access to common ways, while the Shadows of Gotham City mode grants access to both common and ways of shadows. Heroes created in the Wonders of Gotham City mode can access all ways, common, ways of shadow, and ways of wonders. It's
So,
generally
real quick, as a little bit of a preview, ways are sort of like feats, or like it's kind of like the powers and abilities that your characters have. So basically, like the power level that you want to play with determines which ways are available. So,
sure.
all right, go ahead.
Right. It's generally best if all the heroes in a group are created using the same mode. This avoids having large differences in strength between them, which can result in some heroes becoming weaker spectators of the actions performed by other stronger characters. And because the characters should match the scenario, the mode will usually be dictated by the GM. Despite this, a group of players can contain heroes created via different game modes as long as the scenario can accommodate it. For example, it's possible for a scenario to bring together Renee Montoya, Streets of Gotham City mode, Batgirl, Shadows of Gotham City mode, and Poison Ivy, Wonders of Gotham City mode, all looking for the same criminal. In that same vein, a campaign can offer players the chance to move up through the ranks of an underworld gang that includes a crook, Streets of Gotham, a specter like criminal, Shadows of Gotham, and a mutant werewolf, Wonders of Gotham. These three modes only exist to take into account the specificities of each type of character. The most important thing is to attempt to provide the best game experience possible. This can be achieved by getting together a coherent group of heroes, all created via the same mode, but a mixed selection can also work, although we only advise this latter approach for more experienced players and GMs.
So I think I can agree with that. Like I like the idea of being able to make the character you want, but I do have to agree. I think especially if you're just getting started with the game, don't overcomplicate it. Just, keep
I
everybody the
know
same mode.
I missed last week, but I'm assuming that when you get together to do your character making, you're also deciding which mode to use. And that way you're creating a character within the mode rather than all of this extra crazy stuff.
So one of the
Or
points
is
that
it
they
or is it that you start in a basic mode and then work your way up into a hard mode kind of thing?
No. So like right here, it says the mode will usually be dictated by the GM. Okay.
Okay, so it's the
Usually
story he
because
wants to tell, or he or she.
right, the module that he's reading from, or the villain that he's created. Like if he's creating like a Ways of Wonder villain, and then tells you all, okay, hey, you're gonna make Streets of Gotham characters.
That seems unfair.
Yeah, you're probably a little bit out of your
That would be
league.
like playing Descent with Ben Daniels.
Yeah.
Not that he's gonna hear this.
Not that he's gonna hear this, but that is a
And
reasonable
I don't
argument.
think anybody else would understand it, but it's an inside joke.
He cheats. I mean, he doesn't actually cheat, but
No, you know what
one,
he's got? He's got Ben mode.
yeah, one would think after playing with the guy that he cheats, but you know better, and you know he doesn't, and it's really, really frustrating.
He's not being sneaky about rolling his dice. He just, rolls his
Right.
dice a lot and gets good hits and kills your monsters all the time.
He's not sneaky about rolling dice. He's very upfront. He's, he has that brain that can put the things together that you didn't expect. So, anyways, Ben, if you're watching this, we love you, buddy. All right, keep going.
All right. Once each player, did I already read that part? No.
Nope.
Once each player has chosen a mode, they should choose a profile, either generic or predetermined, that suits their preferences and the type of scenario being played. They can build their character with this profile as a guide, either completely ignoring what is commonly found in the comics, staying faithful to the original style, or a bit of both. It can be an idealistic righter of wrongs, a young but already cynical cop, a criminal genius hell-bent on revenge, a millionaire obsessed with tech and justice, a child of the mob disgusted by crime but reluctant to betray his clan, a high-ranked attorney corrupted by money or love, an expert in martial arts, ready to defend the weak by any means, a journalist who will stop at nothing to uncover the truth, probably an independent journalist, or a monster horribly transformed by an experiment that has increased its strength and hairiness tenfold. The only limits are your imagination and the compatibility of your dreams with the adventures devised by the GM. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Choosing the hero's profile. For each of the aforementioned modes, you'll find predetermined profiles that offer numerous types of characters. If you don't find anything to your taste and you want to build a character from scratch, this selection phase also comes with 3 generic profiles for each mode. A physical profile for action-based heroes, a specialist profile for heroes with a certain expertise, and a multi-purpose profile for heroes with diverse skills. Each profile is described as follows. Name indicates the name of the profile. Description gives a summary of the type of characters the profile offers. Hit points die indicates the type of die used to determine the character's hit points. At level 1, the character always starts with a number of hit points equal to the maximum possible result of their hit points die, plus their constitution modifier. MA and RA indicate the melee attack and ranged attack scores when creating the character. These scores also depend on the primary characteristic modifiers, so the MA and RA can only be completely determined after these modifiers are known. Exploit points indicates the number of exploit points the character has when first created, to which is added the willpower modifier. Exploit points, I think, are sort of a meta currency. Basically, so like I think, what do they call them in My Little Pony? The friendship points, is that what they call them?
I have no idea. I'm not quite sure what this is.
You were here when we read it.
Yeah, but I can't even remember what happened last week, bro.
That's fair. No, so it's gonna be like okay, I can spend this point to re-roll a dice or to get a bonus or something like that. Okay. I believe that's what the exploit points are. All right, capacity points indicates the number of capacity points available when the character is created. These allow capacity levels to be purchased in the initial ways of the character. The chapter about ways explains in detail how to use your capacity points. Primary characteristic with an edge. Batman the RPG is a game in which the characters have missions or goals to achieve. Some profiles offer 1 or sometimes 2 characteristics with an edge. When performing a characteristics test with an edge, 2d20 dice are rolled instead of 1d20, and you pick the result you prefer. Only primary characteristics can have an edge. Initial ways. Each profile indicates the ways that the character can acquire for free. These waves each correspond to a domain of expertise, split over 5 levels, with 5 capacities gained per way over the course of the adventure. You'll find more details about this, including all the capacities to be gained in the ways, in the chapter all about them. Finances gives an idea of a character's social status, lifestyle, and disposable income upon their creation. Equipment indicates, if necessary, the weapons, protection, tools, and other gadgets immediately available to the character. All right, so that is a breakdown on what the profiles look like. So, all right, give me 1 second. Okay.
So these are examples.
Well, these are the actual profiles. So you're going to want to look at a profile sort of along the lines of like a
character that you want to be.
Right, like your character class, like fighter or wizard, that kind of stuff. But for Batman.
Corporate executive.
Yeah.
Love it.
Where'd you see corporate
that's the next page.
You're scrolling.
Yeah, I'm scrolling to look at the
all right
little titles.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
Start reading this. I'm going to step away for 1 second because I want to actually grab the physical book out.
Okay, that's not that much to read. What do you want me to read?
I'm walking 2 steps. Just start reading.
Reading
right?
what?
Under predetermined profiles. Sorry.
Excuse me.
I assumed you had looked at the screen.
I know, but it's going to go into specialized profiles.
Right. And we're gonna check those. But like I said, give me 1 second. I want to grab the physical book. So just start with the predetermined ones.
Yeah, well, I'm coughing. So, all right, predetermined profiles. This section offers a range of predetermined profiles suited to adventures that the characters might experience in a place like Gotham City. Don't forget, you should always add the strength mod to the MA, the dexterity mod to the RA, the willpower mod to the number of EP, the constitution mod to the number of HP. The number of HP at level 1 is always equal to the maximum possible result of the hit points die. Are you back?
I am back. All right. So yeah, so the real quick, just to remind you, well, because you probably don't remember, mod just stands for
That's
modifier.
A lot of words.
A lot of words and abbreviations that you're new and might not remember.
Acronym.
Yes. MA is melee attack, so strength mod. So your strength affects how well you punch someone in the face.
Sure. And dexterity is for the range attack.
Exactly, ranged attack. So how well you throw your batarangs at their face. Okay. All right. So give me 1 more second. All right. So now it's just a whole bunch of these profiles. So obviously we don't want to look at all of them. That would get super boring and people would probably fall asleep to it.
You're boring.
Which maybe isn't necessarily a bad thing, but let's do this because obviously it's a considerable amount of it. How about we take 1 per page? So on this page, we've got the bodyguard and the bounty hunter. Which one should we look at?
I don't know. You're going to start singing the Whitney Houston song?
I am not.
That's what made me think of the bodyguard.
Again, I am not.
I'm probably going to start coughing in a minute. All right, let's just do bodyguard.
All right. So, well, obviously.
You want me to go? All right.
Yeah, do the bodyguard for us.
For the client, you and I are that thin red line that separates life from death. Sometimes that line also separates good from evil, and the client could be on either side. It's all the same to us. They just have to get to the end of the day in good health, even if that means you end up at the ER. And if you think you're not getting paid enough for putting yourself in danger like that, then perhaps it's just that you're not actually worth that much in the first place. And that is Mary A., employee of Shield Home Security, to one of her younger colleagues. Your job is to protect celebrities, politicians, industry bosses, attorneys, members of the mafia, anyone who has good reason to believe that they are in physical danger. In a place like Gotham City, that's like going to a lion's den to bring back a gazelle safe and sound. Plus, you'll probably have to turn a blind eye to dubious things like the gazelle did in the first place. It's a job that's always in demand, partly because there's always someone who needs protecting, but also because your fellow bodyguards don't tend to live that long. What with all the bad guys and masked madmen running around the streets of the city, the only advantage for you in this situation, I almost thought that said a bad word, is the prices are on the rise. A simple question of supply and demand, especially if you believe that money has no smell. Risk pays, but how far will you go? Let's see. The hit point die, D10, EP 0, MA and RA 2 points to be attributed as desired, and CP 2. So obviously those are necessary points. And then the primary characteristic with an edge, choice between strength and constitution. Initial ways, 3 ways chosen from the following: the ways of melee, way of ranged weapons, way of physical prowess, and the way of corporations underworld. Special rule: the way of the protector is available to a character with this profile when they reach level 5, regardless of whether the necessary requirements have been met or not. Finances are moderate.
I like that one. Like, I mean, it's a nice description of just like a kind of like a basic fighter class. You know, it and it just it has a nice Batman sound to it. So, anyways.
Sure.
All right. So on the next page, we're going to look at because Kim already brought it up. We're going to look at the corporate executive. I'm convinced that it's still possible to lead a normal life, even here in Gotham City. You just have to know how things work here. Throw yourself into your job and respect the hierarchy. Companies like Wayne Industries have some incredible opportunities on offer. Plus, there's a huge demand for security-related products in a city like this. It's a jungle out there, so I often tell myself that having your own desk, mug, and computer can get you the kind of life that anyone should be happy with. Said by Bob O at the coffee machine the day before he disappeared. Your dreams are filled with gleaming glass and steel skyscrapers, meetings, emails, work, and opportunities. The financial district and its jungle of offices, elevators, dark suits, and daring projects are the ecosystem you thrive in. Be mindful, though, even if money has no smell, you know who you really work for. All these downtown companies are controlled by the mob or dodgy billionaires like Oswald Cobblepot. Whichever way your moral compass points, you'll undoubtedly know how to come out on top. Hit points die D8, melee attack +1, and range attack 0, or melee attack 0 and range attack 1. 2 exploit points and 2 capacity points. Primary characteristic with an edge, choice between intelligence and willpower. Initial ways, 3 ways chosen from the following: the way of money, way of speech, way of corporations, way of science, way of psychology, and the way of the jack of all trades. Finances, well off. What do you think? You think you could fit in there?
Be that character?
I'm just
Nah.
You're the one that brought up the corporate executive. I figured
I
you
thought
were
it was
like,
interesting, but I thought Oswald Cobblepot was the penguin.
he is.
Okay. But like he didn't have money in the movie, but I guess that's just the crummy
You're watching the
Tim Burton
1989 Tim Burton movie.
Tim Burton interpretation. So creepy.
I am not a fan of Tim Burton. The movies
I
were
know.
fine, but I'm not a fan of Tim Burton. I'm really not.
Okay.
So yeah, the whole like Mama and Papa Cobblepot just, tossing the
Baby
stroller into the
sewer.
river. Yeah. Nope. Nope. All right. So let's
We ate their cat.
I mean,
Aw.
that's another
I
thing.
would throw a creepy baby into I'm just kidding.
That's another
That's
thing is
true. The
like
60s version.
yeah,
He
the
definitely
60s.
gives up billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. The 60s version very much comes across that way. But yeah, the Tim Burton version, I don't know what was going on there. All right, next page. Should we look at the crook, the expert, or the gangster?
I'm thinking gangster,
All right.
I'm so gangster.
Yes, you are so gangster. All right, tell us about the gangster.
Oh, hold on. Daughter-in-law message. So, all right. Let me get there. All right. You know what he used to say, old Reacher? He used to say that guys like us, we're like predators in the swamp. It's our job to get rid of the weak and prosper at the expense of the herd. And at other times, we're like, doing the Almighty's work, punishing the sinners and keeping the flock on the straight and narrow. But guess what? Old Reacher ain't here no more to spout all this nonsense. What I says is that we've got the good life, isn't it? Free as the bird, answering to no one, just raking in the dollars. It would be a real paradise if there weren't so much competition and those crazies in bat costumes. Listen, this city has become a roller coaster. Looks scary, but it's worth it for the thrills. Inmate 584851 in Blackgate. Evil, misery, laziness, stupidity, bad luck. No one really knows how you come to join a gang. And to tell the truth, no one could care less. Your job is to know your place, keep your mouth shut, bow down to the bosses, respect your fellow gang members, fight to defend your clan in every inch of your territory, and above all, treat the city's honest citizens with violence and disdain. Gotham, Gotham City is the perfect place for you and your kind. A jungle where it's always better to be the predator than the prey. And you're a part of the pack. A clan, a gang, call it what you will. Just make sure you respect the same rules as the coyotes, the hyenas, and the wolves. There's a chief, and then there's the henchman. And it's a good life for all, at least as long as it lasts. As long as a rival gang doesn't come and try to get revenge. As long as the shadow of a cape doesn't transform the party into a nightmare. As long as you can stand all this violence and what it takes to its victims. Hit points die D10, EP 0, MA +1, and RA +1, CP 2. Primary characteristic with an edge. Choice between dexterity and strength. Notice there's no intelligence listed. Anyway, initial ways: the way of the ranged weapons, the way of the melee, and a common way. Choose from either the way of physical prowess or the way of danger. Finances are moderate.
All right. I do think it's really interesting that they're throwing in so many potential like criminal type characters. Like usually the games are focused more on being the hero, but this one there's a lot of, like, hey, here's a way that you could play the bad guy too. And then run, Batman or the cops as the antagonist. So very, very interesting dynamic. All right. We're going to look at this one and then we'll jump down to the other profiles. Because obviously GCPD officer is kind of, a Batman staple. All right.
You sure you don't want to read that one? Because it's got a quote from Detective Harvey. Oh, wait, no, that's not Harvey Dent.
Harvey
never
Bullock.
mind. My bad.
Anyway. All right. Detective Eddie Worth was one of those partners you want by your side when things start going south. And some people dare to judge his past actions by today's standards. They have no idea what old Gotham City was like when Worth and his team had a limitless tab at the Maroney's restaurants. A lot of business deals were worked out there over a bowl of cannelloni. A lot of tragedies were averted, too. Things were done civil-like. And when a show of strength was needed, Eddie never held back. The list of thugs and petty criminals he got off the streets permanently is a long one. A lot of those who frown on his methods owe him their lives, or at least a little piece. It's ironic, though. No one was able to save his life the day he crossed paths with one of them costumed crazies. Where were you guys when Eddie needed you? Who's going to have your back when push comes to shove? Speech given by Detective Harvey Bullock at a colleague's funeral. Being a police officer in Gotham City requires blind dedication. Whatever unit you join, you'll be with men and women who have to fight relentlessly down in the dirt against crime, corruption, and misery. On a bad day, your job is a fiery hell with bureaucracy and an insane statistics pouring gasoline on the fire. On a good day, it's a manhunt where the role of hunter and hunted changes constantly. Sometimes it's more like being in a boxing ring with no escape, or perpetually on the brink of chaos, or wading through the sewers of humanity. How do you manage to keep going? How can you take the pressure? All right. How do you put up with the stupidity and cruelty of your colleagues? Can you turn a blind eye to their swift judgments and dubious decisions? You deserve a medal. Fat chance, but if you're lucky, they'll get you an oak coffin, a flag, and a bagpipe player. D10 hit points die, MA and RA +1, EP0, and CP2. Primary characteristic with an edge, choice between strength and perception. Initial ways, the way of ranged weapons, way of investigation, and one more, either the way of the melee or the way of corporations. Finances, moderate. Yeah, it very much sounds like Gotham City Cops.
Or Minneapolis, whatever. Just saying.
All right. So obviously we then got journalist, private detective, trafficker, serviceman.
Trafficker, what?
I
didn't see that on the list.
Weapons, contraband, stolen cars, works of art. Serviceman. This one confused me for a second. For some reason, I thought it was like an electrician or something along those lines. No, it's military. You want a military character. Here's what you go with.
Got
it. Let's see. All right, other profiles. So this is just kind of like some examples on how to take the generic and just make them into all sorts of things. So they've got artist, acrobat, secret services agent,
secret service. I'm sorry, what?
Adventurer, chauffeur, dilettante, butler.
Oh yeah, I want to be the butler.
So you want to go into the role-playing game and clean the house and make the food and
yeah, because guess what? Finances well off. I'm gonna be well paid butler. I can do the stuff I know how to do like really well and get super bucks. Lots of dollar bucks. I'm gonna go give me a Louis Vuitton after I clean that toilet.
A SWAT team member, workers, firefighters, homeless. Oh, you can be a homeless person in the game. Interesting.
No, I'm good, thanks. I'm gonna go be that rich butler.
Yeah. Right. I wasn't expecting a homeless character.
I mean, that one doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why would you do that?
No, because you could, because like number one, it could be somebody down on their luck. It could be like a butler
that got fired.
A butler that got fired. It could be there's all sorts of ways that you could play it. Because also don't forget, Batman is a detective. He's not just going in and talking to the CEOs, especially if it's...
I realize he's talking to the homeless. However, I'm trying to figure out, like, why would you be the homeless person if Batman is also in your group of people playing with you? I don't understand how the game mechanics work.
Well, don't think of it along the lines of this is a permanent situation and Batman goes down and hangs out with the homeless guys on Tuesday to play cards. It's
no, he wouldn't play cards. The homeless guy is gonna get soup. Bat soup.
Bat soup. Oh no, but the point
that a bat roll.
The point I'm trying to make is that think about it more of like, in the context of this particular adventure or this particular campaign. While Batman and the homeless guy may not necessarily be friends, the homeless guy is coming along because he has information, or like I said, maybe he's a former superhero down on his luck, things like that. So there's ways to do it, and could be very interesting as far as like role-playing opportunities. It's just one that I wasn't expecting for them to put out as an option. So then we've got waiters, professional athletes. See, okay, this was annoying. Professional sports person. Just say professional athlete. It covers everything. Men, women, whatever. It's fine. Just professional athlete, but sports person, that it's not a word. I refuse to acknowledge it as a word. All right. And then we have an academic. Let's see. Generic profiles for the Streets of Gotham City mode. So this is, you're not quite sure what profile you want. So it's like, okay, I want a physical character. I want a specialized character. I want a what was the other one? I want a flexible character. So I'm not really trying to define it. I just want to apply, attributes and ways the way that I want them. So, all right. Tell us about hero profiles created in the Shadows of Gotham City mode.
All right. Predetermined profiles. As with the Streets of Gotham City mode, oh, good. This mode offers several predetermined profiles. You'll also find some generic profiles after them. 4 of these profiles are linked with scores of ethics chosen for the character. See the section entitled Choose Your Ethics. In addition to these profiles, there are 5 others not influenced by the ethics scores for those who prefer to have some more freedom or to play as more neutral characters that still have plenty of talent. For these heroes who rarely act unmasked, the player can freely choose their everyday profession or job, making sure that it remains coherent with their social standing and finances. Do you want me to read the purple? It's probably not necessary.
No, because it's just repeating what they said on the first one, so we don't need to do it.
So now we got a bunch of profiles. What would you like to start with?
So, all right, there's 4 profiles looked at, profiles linked with ethics. So let's look at those. And then we'll just mention the neutral profiles
without reading any of them.
Yeah, and then they've got the same kind of generic
just list them
characters.
off.
Yeah, they've got the same kind of generic characters, so we'll skip to that, and then we'll get to wonder characters. So, all right. Do you want to do the clown, or do you want me to do the clown?
I think I can do clown since I just barely started reading. All right, clown. The Joker. They're all so serious, so deathly dull, so attached to their stupid rules, their small-minded norms, their little habits, their absurd codes, to their pitiful routines, to the ridiculous, uptight restrictions that drain the life from any attempt at creativity. It's also darned predictable, so stuffed with cliches, so prudishly benevolent and gray. Without you, we'd all die of boredom. In this world of skyscrapers, straight avenues, police officers, and office workers, you are the spark, the happening, the life, the confusion, the unexpected. The whisper of chaos without which the world would be sinister, inoffensive, and cold. You're the clown character that is used to be indispensable to remind the powerful of their human condition, a cruel joker from an ancient mythology, without whom the gods would not have known peril, discovery, or achievement. You are the costume jester, without whom the fanatical guardians of order, such as Batman, would be nothing, just furious individuals obsessed with structure and profit. You are the other side of the coin, the one that brings light, fire, chaos, and creativity. He who disrupts the sad alienation of people's daily lives with a little disorder, risk, and adventure. But wait a minute. Isn't it because of troublemakers like you that the laws are made more draconian? Aren't you why the police get more money for surveillance, more support from the authorities, and are treated more leniently by judges? In fact, what would you do if society actually collapsed and there was no longer an established order to defy? What are you deep down? A real agent of chaos? Or just an excuse to reinforce the current order and provide a reason for people like Batman to exist? Perhaps we all are. You, me, masked crime fighters, the police, and Gotham City. Just a vast, bloated joke. Uh, hit point die D10 EP4. What was EP again?
That's the meta currency, the exploit points.
Exploit point. That's right. MA +1 and RA 0, or MA 0 and RA +1. So you get one or the other. CP4.
Right.
Primary characteristics with an edge: dexterity and willpower. Initial ways: the way of anarchy, one common way of your choice, and two additional ways to be chosen from the following: the way of melee, way of ranged weapons, way of danger, way of escape, way of physical prowess, way of stealth, and the way of psychology. Finances are moderate. You can take it.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously they're telling you how to make the Joker and kind of trying to
Well,
put you
it
into
seemed
his.
like they snuck in a little bit of like a Two-Face reference.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could easily put Two-Face in the same kind of category.
He's definitely a chaos maker, just with his flip of the coin.
Yep, exactly. I'm not quite sure why it's linked with ethics though. That's one thing that I wish that they were saying was where the ethics part comes into it. Because
Lack
obviously
of.
that lack of, that's fair. I think that'll come up later on, so we'll have to
Well,
wait.
also, I mean, they did make a point where, you know, the chaos character basically provides the money and the work for all of the good guys.
That's fair.
Facilitates rather than provide. But anyway.
All right, let's look at the criminal genius. Just like art, superior intelligence is above morals, laws, or justice. They are unbearable restraints to the accomplishment of the superhuman. Quote supposedly from Dr. X before being locked up in Arkham Asylum. This isn't just some megalomaniacal madness. You really are the elite of society, probably the precursor of the next stage of evolution, as long as humans accept that their destiny should be entrusted to people like you. Laws, justice, norms, it's all twaddle peddled by the stupid and the weak. To protect themselves from others. These things alienate us all, but are an even greater obstacle to the more exceptional beings amongst us, such as you. People who think fast, who understand before others catch on, who are worth so much more than the ungainly, absurd rules that the authorities, a bunch of frightened, egotistical idiots, hope to force upon all citizens. You deserve to have the power that they guard so jealously. You have a vision while they stumble around in the dark, stupidly happy to just follow their base instincts day to day. But this era of imbeciles is soon to end. A new dawn approaches, and Gotham City is the perfect place for it to rise. D8 hit points, EP2, MA and RA 0, and CP6. Primary characteristics with an edge: intelligence and willpower. Initial ways: the way of crime, one common way of your choice, and two additional ways to be chosen from the following: the way of money, way of corporations, way of science, way of psychology, way of speech, and the way of medicine. Way of science can be chosen several times with a different specialty each time. Finances, well off. Equipment, gadget with creation difficulty level 20. Oh, so this is Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, isn't the Riddler a little bit of a genius as well? But or maybe he's just
definitely Riddler.
Also Scarecrow's character. He was a doctor.
Yep, Scarecrow as well.
I'm thinking of like the characters that I remember from the animated series because those were some really good developed characters.
Oh yeah,
Mad Hatter. I think he was a scientist because he created those chips.
Yeah, Mad Hatter could do it. Those are the big ones.
Yeah,
that's the thing. There's so many Bat villains that like,
episode in the animated series was so creepy.
Which one?
distinctly remember that one. The one with Mad Hatter, where it
There
turns
were
into like Alice in Wonderland story, basically, only a
there
little
were
bit
a few,
twisted.
but
Oh, it was so good. Yeah. Anyway.
all right. Tell us about the Guardian.
All right. The law, all the law, nothing but the law, and in that order. Quote attributed by several criminals to the costume do-gooder who caught them and turned them over to Gotham City Police Department. Law and order are the two foundations of tranquil societies. In these troubled times, nothing else counts. Law, order. Ending the chaos of this town, the rioting, and the hoodlums. Getting rid of deviant celebrity criminals like Harley Quinn, Spoiler, and the Joker, people who terrorize honest folk, who have no regard for the law and no respect for fundamental American values. America. So when the police are overrun, when the justice system is no longer doing its job, when crooked attorneys get criminals off scot-free, are you sure we don't live in Gotham City? I feel like America is Gotham City. Anyway, when a curfew is needed, people like you have no choice but to stand and take up arms, defend the homeland and the Constitution, America, while respecting the law of the country, the rights of its citizens to live in harmony, and their duty to remain peaceful. And if everyone followed your example, we would finally be able to get out of the muddy swamp that Gotham City has become, with its corruption, plummeting living standards, and anarchy. But you are one of the few to have the necessary courage and abilities. You must sacrifice yourself and head for the front line just outside your apartment building in the hope that each night once again sees you emerge victorious. Hit points die D12 EP 2 MA and RA 2 points to be attributed as desired. CP 4. Primary characteristics with an edge, choices between perceptions, strength, and dexterity. Initial ways, the way of order, one common way of your choice, and one common way to be chosen from the following: the way of ranged weapons, way of melee, way of corporations, which forces of law and order, way of danger, and the way of piloting. Finances moderate.
So this is your low budget Batman.
Like Robin
Yeah.
or Batgirl.
Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, trying to think of Spoiler, Huntress. Basically Bat family characters that, you know, rely on Batman's money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that are not Bruce Wayne.
They're not Brass Wayne. They're not Bruce Wayne because the finances are moderate, not significant.
Right.
That's why I want to be Batman's butler. I earn more money than Guardians.
But I think in this case, this would also be used for Batman. They're just, you know, saying, you know, low finances.
Actually, I think that's the next one, the Righter of Wrongs.
Maybe. Let's take a look.
Go for it.
All right. Perhaps that's what he is, Batman. Not winning, but falling and getting back up, knowing that he'll fail, failing hundreds of times, but never giving up despite everything. Batman 0 year. Something in you needs justice to reign so badly that you feel obliged to make sure it does, even if that means resorting to a certain amount of reasonable violence. Even if that means going beyond your rights and obligations as a citizen, or getting hurt, or risking your life every night, or putting on a combat suit designed to instill fear in criminals and thugs. Yeah, this is Batman. This is totally Batman. So if you do all that, it must mean that Gotham City needs it, right? That it's not just some sort of narcissistic madness, like some have said, or planet saver syndrome that actually hides a weakness, a secret, a sin, or a vendetta. You know it, right? When you put on the suit, when you spend a cold, rainy November night patrolling in vain as Gotham City oozes the same old petty trafficking, the same old sordid crimes, like a disease you could try to fight in vain for 100 years because it's secreted by stupidity, evil, and poverty. And there's nothing you can do about that. You can't fight human nature. You can't fight people's instincts, their thirst for domination and their greed. So why do you keep doing it? Is it for the grateful looks from the family you just rescued from their attackers? For the tears of relief of a victim whose life you just saved? Is that what's most important to you? Compassion? Helping your fellow man? Or is it the pleasure you get from hitting underworld thugs and costume criminals? The satisfaction of cleaning up a street corner, a building, a neighborhood, even when you know you'll have to go back and do it all over again. Even when you know that lone knights like yourself are fighting a war against evil and it will never end. All
I was
right.
gonna say both, but now it's
Mhm.
like all.
Yes, all of the above. All right, hit points D12, MA and RA, 2 points to be attributed as desired, EP2 and CP4. Primary characteristics with an edge, constitution, either strength or dexterity. Initial ways, the way of justice, one common way of your choice, and two common ways to be chosen from the following: the way of ranged weapons, way of the melee, way of physical prowess, way of stealth, way of investigation, way of danger, and the way of piloting. Finances, well off. Yeah, I have a feeling you would need like more ways than they're allowing you to choose. Maybe it's because it's level 1. And they do
Right.
give
I think you get to add more ways as you learn how to be the bat.
That's true. I mean, they do give you ways, they do give you instructions on like starting at higher levels, so that is, also available.
Excuse me.
All right. Then neutral profiles not associated with ethics. We've got the fight master, the lookout, the inventor, the virtuoso.
Oh,
Oh,
should
you
we
know what?
read that one since it's Catwoman?
I was gonna say, I think we need to read virtuoso on principle here.
Okay, I will do
Or
so.
you need to.
Correct. I assumed as much. It says, I've got talent. Seems kind of a shame not to use it, even if it makes some people jealous. You know very early on that you had a little extra something compared to most people. Later, you weren't quite sure what path you should take, what you could do with such exceptional abilities. Then you had to choose: serve society, your convictions, or just your own interests. Most of the time, you're convinced you made the right choice, one that allows your talents all the space they need to express themselves. There are moments of doubt, but they're quickly erased by the adrenaline, the taste of competition, and victory, each of which has an associated risk, of course. Ever considered the talents that have served you so well up until now might one day make you go too far? Hit points die D10, EP4, MA plus 0, and RA plus 1, or MA plus 1 and RA plus 0, CP4. Primary characteristics with an edge, two to be chosen from the following: dexterity, perception, strength, and willpower. Initial ways, one way of shadows of your choice, one common way of your choice, and two common ways to be chosen from the following: the way of melee, way of danger, way of escape, way of investigation, way of physical prowess, and the way of stealth. Finances are well off.
I was looking at the book, and it says way of inquiry. So when you said way of investigation, I'm like, what? What? That's wrong.
That was for
There are
Batman.
slight no, I know. No, there are slight differences between the print copy and the digital copy.
Oh.
I'm not 100% sure which one is right. Oh well, it's close
I
enough.
think, well, whatever way, because obviously in multiple types of Batman, she's been portrayed as a thief. So that does take some investigative talents so that you can find out where the things are and how to access them.
Well, and remember,
So
this isn't Catwoman. This is a virtuoso.
Catwoman-like character. Yes, I get it. I'm just
Well,
saying, if you were to compare it to Catwoman's skills, that is the skills that she would have used, and so it makes sense that that's part of
mhm.
the description. That's the only connection I was making.
Right. So,
Anyway,
no, they're still good choices. It just
see
threw
the
me off because the
but
difference between the two.
right, but also they did highlight in the description that if you had to choose serve society, your convictions, or your own interests, it does make it a character where her or his or her ethics, if you will, are kind of gray.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, she's a cat burglar, but then she's also a philanthropist, and she's in love with Batman, and so
I mean,
like,
who couldn't be in love with Batman? He's hot
have you met me?
and
Yeah.
rich.
Oh,
I've met
not
you.
me.
I married you.
Yeah, so it's you're right. She is absolutely a gray character. So definitely not
Morally
one
gray.
that's going to be linked to ethics, but that's
Maybe
fine.
50 Shades of Gray. What?
That's a different live stream, not this one. Not at all.
Anyway,
All right.
if we haven't scared everybody away, we have now.
No, the audience is increasing, so we're doing okay. For some reason, people like, say hi, everyone. We're happy you're here.
Hello.
Let's see. All right. So finally, hero profiles created in Wonders of Gotham City mode. Like the other two modes, this offers several predetermined profiles as well as some generic profiles.
You just skipped Shadows of Gotham City mode.
No.
Yeah.
I skipped the generic profiles for the Shadows of Gotham City.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. No,
they were.
Remember, like, for each mode, they also they're giving like, oh, here's this style, here's this style. Also, here's somebody who's gonna punch someone in the face. Here's somebody who's gonna do something cool, and here's one that you can kind of build however you want.
Is there a Edna mode? I'm a dork.
I love you, but yeah, that one was pretty bad.
I know. I know. It's what I do.
All right, let's start over. Like the two other modes, this offers several predetermined profiles as well as some generic profiles. The Ways of Wonders each depend on a primary characteristic: strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, perception, or willpower. And the predetermined profiles follow these. If you prefer more atypical characters, it's best to choose a generic profile. As for the characters created in the other modes, players are free to choose the hero's profession, making sure that it remains coherent with their social standing and finances. So we'll just look at one of these because it's the same thing for all the others, more or less. It just changes which attribute. The melee attack and ranged attack and the hit points dial. Okay, these numbers are all going to be different, but it's the same general principle. They don't have fun quotes. They don't have descriptions of the character. It's just, oh, your primary thing is strength. So like super strength. Primary characteristic with an edge, strength. You don't get two, you just get the one. Initial ways. One way of wonders to be chosen from those related to strength, one common way of your choice, and one common way to be chosen from the following: the way of the melee, way of danger, and the way of physical prowess. And that's it. Oh, finances moderate. Right there. Okay. So then obviously we've got super constitution, super dexterity, super intelligence, super perception, and super willpower. We've also got the generic characteristics. Generic characters. Right. Generic, yeah. All right. So
the super stuff, it's all because of the wonders mode being more advanced, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's so super.
Right. And so basically it's just saying, okay, so if you're going to play
Edna mode. Because superheroes. I don't know.
I knew where you're I knew what you meant. All right. So anyways, so those are the different modes. Those are different character profiles available for each of those. Obviously, we did skim through quite a bit of that just in the interest of time. I mean, especially because for what we have planned for today, we still got quite a ways to go. So,
Are we ending at 7 or 7:30?
we are ending when we get to my stopping point, which is the end of the chapter. So,
Right.
page 51.
Are we skipping to the second column of 37?
Choose a trait, receive a disadvantage.
Yes. Do you want to read all of that?
I want. Let's see. Okay. You read that first part, and then we'll just kind of like skim and look at a couple of the traits and the disadvantages.
So we're just going to skip the example, or do you want me to read the example?
Go ahead and read the example just so
All right.
that we know how it
Choose
works.
a trait, receive a disadvantage. Every citizen of Gotham City that players embody has something that makes them special. Their contacts, natural aptitudes, skills gained from experience, etc. When creating their characters, players choose one of the traits below, simply making sure that it fits with the hero's past and profile. One or even two disadvantages may be added to this trait. While these are extra handicaps, they also provide more points for buying primary characteristics. While choosing a trait is obligatory, adding disadvantages is totally optional. For example, when creating his character, in addition to the solid trait, young Master Bruce chooses his two disadvantages for his masked crime fighter hero: secret identity, as he will have to intervene incognito, and trauma, as his crime fighter has been strongly affected by a dramatic event that happened in his childhood. These two disadvantages are completely optional, but give him 2 + 2 extra points that young Bruce will undoubtedly use to improve his extraordinary, however you want to say it, hero's strength and dexterity scores.
Give me 1 second.
Do you want me to read off the traits?
So traits, yeah. So traits. Let's see. Yeah. So we're just gonna skim a couple.
Oh. Well, I mean, we can list them and just pick
Right. We'll
one
read off the
for you
names, and if yeah, read through the list of traits. And if you see any that interest you, or if I see any, I'll interrupt. And we'll read the whole thing.
All right. Traits: ambidextrous, attentive, adventurer, charmer, corporatist, cyberneticist, discreet, heir or heiress, wrestler, leader, night vision, psychologist, strong, thinker, robust, solid, supple, technician, tenacious, shooter, quick, determined. All right. Disadvantages. When creating their character, the player may choose to give them one or two of the disadvantages listed below. Each disadvantage grants them 2 additional points to use for buying primary characteristics, as talked about before. Troubling appearance. This is reserved for heroes with ways of wonders. Addiction. Repugnant appearance. Emotionally dependent. Brian. Weakness. Secret identity. Boldness. Obsession. Phobia. Mental imbalance. That would be me. Ruined. Oh, that's the homeless person. Solitude. Stupidity. Achilles heel. Trauma. Or old wound. All right. Moving along.
Let's see. Okay, so you just get 2 extra points for each disability, but man, some of these are like Sorry, I was distracted by Robert Gray, because he did not know that there was an original Batman role playing game, back in yon 80s. Anyways,
How
but yeah,
would
a
you
lot
know?
of
You were a kid, like young kid,
it's Batman.
nerd.
So, but no, these like so you get two character. The example said, when creating his character, in addition to the solid trait, young Master Bruce chooses two disadvantages for his Max Cried Fighter hero: secret identity and trauma. These two disadvantages are completely optional, but give him 2+2 extra points that young Bruce will undoubtedly use to improve his extraordinary hero strength and dexterity scores. So it's like, okay, so you get 2 extra points, but man, some of these, disadvantages seem kind of brutal. I wonder how big of an advantage the 2 character points is, but I don't know. Anyways,
that mental imbalance gives you a penalty of -5.
Right. Yeah. Well, any test of willpower used to charm, reassure, or cajole the person they are interacting with, as the test is performed with a penalty of -5. Yeah, that's brutal. But
I feel like that happens to me in real life.
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
What? My tongue gets tied. I feel like that's a -5 disadvantage.
All right. So, anyways, the traits and the disadvantages, they're interesting. I do think it's interesting that you have to pick a trait, but you don't have to take any disadvantages.
Right.
But you can take up anyways. All right. And it's
I don't know. I think probably with the disadvantages, it's supposed to make a little bit more well-rounded character, a little bit more, story, if you will. But I think someone walking into this game might not want to work with that kind of stuff at a basic level.
A lot of people don't like taking advantages because it is negative.
You mean disadvantages.
Because it does put negatives against the character.
I mean, even with the +2 whatevers, like maybe they don't really care about having a couple of extra characteristics.
Right. Well, but
I'm just saying, like, I think more advanced players would do something like that just for, a storyline, for funsies, if you will.
No, exactly. That's what I was about to say, is they're mostly going to be taken, like, especially because disadvantages are completely optional. They're mostly going to be taken by people who, they want a little bit of a boost because they feel that they can role play or work with the disadvantages, as opposed to the disadvantages being a hampering.
I could totally see Ben doing that and still making it kick ass.
Ben?
Old wound, no problem.
Yeah.
Mental imbalance, never heard of her. I got this big old axe. I'm going to chop something down, no prob.
Oh, anyway, that was a little too
good
on
old
the
melee
nose.
Ben. All right, you ready for moving on? Yes.
Advantage, weaponized autism.
Yeah.
That's Ben in a nutshell. Anyways.
Ben in a nutshell. How did I get in this big nut?
All right. Determining primary characteristics. The physical and intellectual qualities of characters, both player and non-player, are defined by 6 primary characteristics, each represented by a value, generally between 3 and 18. Although Gotham City is home to some exceptional beings whose stats are much higher. The higher the value, the more the particular characteristic is developed. Below 6, the character is below average in the domain. Scores around 9 are more or less average for human beings in good physical and mental health. Around 12, the character is good in that domain. Any score over 15 means the character is really talented, and anything around 18 means the character is among the best in that category. Strength. This represents physical strength and athletic qualities. This is important for melee combat in any situation that requires muscular power.
It
Constitution.
also makes you look really hot in a bad suit. I'm just saying.
That's fair. That's why I'm lifting weights, folks. Maybe one day. We'll see.
Fat bat suit. What?
Yeah. Constitution, endurance, hardiness, and health. This is important each time the character's body is severely stressed, whether because of physical effort, a shock, being hit or hurt, or even a reaction to a toxic substance. Dexterity measures physical agility, manual skill, balance, reflexes, and the character's bodily coordination. This is important for ranged combat and each time that the character tries to execute quick or complicated actions like defusing a bomb, dodging an attack, grabbing the ledge of a skyscraper at the last possible moment when falling, or quickly hiding. Intelligence evaluates the character's proficiency for analysis, logic, abstraction, and memorization, as well as their ease for learning new mechanisms and concepts. This is important when the character is trying to deduce or analyze a situation, recall something from memory, solve a puzzle, hack a computer system, or operate a complex, unfamiliar machine.
That's that weaponized autism.
Yes. Perception measures the character's attention span, intuition, sense of observation, and acuity of the senses. This is used each time the character examines or watches something or someone, or when they are supposed to notice a detail, detect a particular smell, hear a distant sound, or realize that something is not right in a situation. And willpower measures the character's natural authority, dominance, strength of character, sense of confidence, or even their charm. This is important for social interaction and when the character's force of will or resilience is required. So,
It looks like this next part is all the math stuff. Do we want to skip it?
no, we actually need the math stuff because that is actually how you're going to determine the characteristics. Essentially, what we read there. I mean, this is a D20 derivative. You know, it's based off of 5th edition. In fact, I think the book even has the open gaming license in it somewhere. So yes, it does. So yeah, for all intents and purposes, this is 5th edition D&D, but I do like that they have mixed it up a bit so that it is different. It's not like I'm not getting strict D&D vibes off of this. Like a lot of other D20 system games. So I like what they're doing. All right. So tell us how we actually determine our primary characteristics.
But math is hard, okay?
No,
All right.
math class is hard.
Both. Whatever mode they used, characters start with a value of 8 for each characteristic. Later, they have 14 to 18 points, Street of Gotham City mode, not Gothic, or 18 to 24 points, Shadows and Wonders of Gotham City modes, to spend in order to increase each characteristic according to the tables shown below. How many points they receive should be adapted to the intensity of the dangers that the heroes will face. At this stage, no characteristic value can be more than 18 for characters created in the Streets of Gotham City mode, and no more than 20 for the others. Excuse me, my nose is itching. It should be noted that you are not obliged to choose these characteristics based on the image one might generally have of the profile: a tough cop, a smart journalist, a high-trained soldier, a cunning thief, etc. On the contrary, you are free to have an approach that brings atypical attributes to the character. A tough expert, a journalist good at combat sports, an intellectual soldier, an annoying young police officer who is astonishingly smart, Batgirl, etc. And make these characteristics fit with the image you have of the character's particularities. And of course, you are free to optimize the characteristics based on the ways you want to follow, or in order to make the character less specialized in a certain area. For example, Aaron and Emily each decide to create a character for the adventure that Julia is going to run for them. Julia. This adventure is for GCPD officers, so Aaron chooses to play a tough inspector from the serious crime unit, while Emily prefers to play as a coroner, carefully hiding that she is a medium who receives visions of the tragic circumstances surrounding the victims' deaths. Aaron's character, Ruben Machado, is created following the streets Gothic city mode, while Allie Clark, played by Emily, is created using the wonders of Gotham City mode. Aaron has 16 points to spend and decides to give Ruben high strength and willpower scores, spending 5 points on each. To make sure his constitution and perception aren't too weak, he invests 3 points in each. Ruben won't be the most agile or intellectual character, as he starts with the following scores: Strength 16, Constitution 14, Dexterity 8, Intelligence 8, Perception 14, Willpower 16. Why is intelligence always so low when someone is super strong? I don't know. Emily has 20 points to use and
because
decides because you have to spend
most
your
of the
points
skills
wisely.
that they're going to use are going to be related to their strength.
Sure.
So they want
No.
the bonus from the strength attribute.
All right. Emily has 20 points to use and decides that her character will be more balanced. She raises all of what she considers her non essential skills or scores to 12, which requires 8 points, 4 times 2. With her remaining 12 points, she ups her perception and dexterity to 16, leaving 2 points unused and lost. So Allie Clark starts with the following scores: Strength 12, Constitution 12, Dexterity 16, Intelligence 12, Perception 16, Willpower 12.
All right. The characteristic modifier. In the game, each characteristic acts as a modifier. When a character performs a characteristic test, the player rolls 1d20 and adds the modifier that corresponds to that characteristic in order to get the final result of their test. You'll find all the info about tests in the chapter about the game system. This modifier is also used in a number of ways related to the abilities of common ways, ways of shadows, and ways of wonders. You'll learn more about this as we continue through the rules. So simple answer real quick, because I wanted to bring this up. I was looking at a couple of things. Essentially, it's a point buy system. I do wish they had like some alternate methods. I mean, again, it's D20. You could probably get away with just doing, roll 3d6 down the line if you wanted to, but they don't have specific rules for it. All right. So, all right. Characteristics values determine the modifier according to the following table. Make sure you write down this number on the hero sheet. You'll need to refer to it more often than the characteristic scores themselves. So, again, it's D20. It's the standard chart that everybody is used to. Robert Gray is apparently trolling us today. Seeing as how Gotham is based on New York, we need some additional classes to cater to NYC now, like guy who uses a shopping cart as a grill. Robert, they actually
don't forget the free bus passes and childcare.
That's don't like I'm not sure how early you got here, but they actually do have homeless as a character profile. So that absolutely can be done if you want.
Ooh, would they be using that shopping cart with like the street oil and cooking street food?
This isn't China
or India.
I don't think even India goes that far.
No, are you sure? I think they do.
I haven't eaten dinner yet. I'd like to still eat.
Like, I ate dinner before I came on, so I'm good, thanks.
Right. I did not. I was busy.
That was a choice.
It was?
You made a choice.
Shush. Let's continue. All right. Determining combat characteristics.
I was right. I was right. I told you.
Exploit points and finances. Several factors complete the character's profile. The combat characteristics which depend on their primary characteristics, but are modified by the chosen profile and level of experience. The exploit points, which allow the hero to accomplish exploits during their adventures, and finances, which determine their level of wealth. Combat characteristics. In order to measure the character's combat abilities, 7 combat characteristics are added to their 6 primary characteristics, which I thought we were only dealing with 2, but let's get into it. All right, melee attack reflects the character's ability to land hits during hand-to-hand combat. The character's melee attack is determined by their profile and combined with their strength modifier. NB? An edge in strength does not confer an edge in melee attack tests. I don't know what NB stands for. That's confused. Okay, anyways, just remember, if you have edge in strength, you don't get edge in melee attacks. Ranged attack reflects the character's ability to perform attacks from a distance, whether with weapons or improvised projectiles. Character's ranged attack is determined by a score that depends on their profile and combined with their dexterity modifier. An edge in dexterity does not confer an edge in ranged attack tests. Special attack reflects the character's ability to use a special attack, generally a superpower, such as Black Canary's Cry, or a special piece of equipment, Scarecrow's Fear Toxin, which is neither a hand-to-hand combat attack nor a ranged attack, but a capacity from a Way of Wonders. This is determined by the special attack bonus offered by the character profile, to which is added the modifier of the primary characteristic being used for the special attack, which also defines the type of attack being used. For more info, see the chapter about the Ways of Wonders. Damage dice. This is the number and type of dice used to determine the damage sustained by an enemy. After a successful attack. The number and type of these dice depend on the weapon used, to which is added the melee attack strength modifier. To determine damage, roll the dice used as DD damage dice and add the results together, adding the strength modifier for melee attack and any other relevant bonuses. This damage is then deducted from the total hit points of the enemy being attacked. Initiative. This determines the order in which the characters act during a round of combat. Its value is equal to the dexterity score from which the defense armor modifier is deducted if the character is equipped with armor. Defense evaluates the character's ability to avoid damage from an attack by dodging and or parrying. The defense value is 10, to which is added the dexterity modifier and any bonuses granted by a capacity or protection that the character might be wearing. Hit points. These quantify the character's ability to take hits and resist damage dealt to them. Losing hit points does not necessarily mean the character has been injured. It could be due to physical pressure applied to the character that reduces hit points by little during combat until the character eventually becomes unable to fight anymore. When a new character is created, their hit points are determined by the maximum result of their hit points die, to which is added the Constitution modifier. The hit points die is determined by the profile you have chosen for your hero, anywhere from a D6 to D12. All right, so that makes a lot more sense. I realize I don't know why I forgot about all of those, values on the character sheet.
Aren't those pretty typical for all RPG
They
games?
are, and I was just dumb when it said that there's 7 numbers that they're dealing with. So that
So
was
your
me.
intelligence level was 5 and you didn't roll for a modifier? How
Yeah,
dare
pretty
you.
much. Pretty much.
Sucks
All
to
right.
suck.
Tell us about exploit points and finances.
Oh yes, finances is my favorite part. Exploit points. EP represents a small number of points that players can use during the game to help their characters accomplish exploits by performing a successful test, for example. Excuse me. The number of EP is determined by the profile you have chosen for your hero, or which is added to the willpower mod. The chapter about the game system gives more details about how EP are used. Finances, my favorite. All right, depending on the chosen profile, each character has a certain level of finances, which are as a rough indicator of their social standing and lifestyle. Just a second. Destitute. The character is homeless, lives by begging, and receives their clothing, temporary housing, health care, and food from charitable organizations. Poor. The character has trouble finding enough money for their basic needs and may receive some social benefits if they are eligible. They live in a filthy hostel and have a work difficult or dangerous jobs to get by. Oh, they have to work difficult or dangerous jobs to get by. Moderate. The character belongs to the middle class or the lower class. They have an adequate life, probably working several jobs to earn a minimum wage and live in decent housing, and only have limited resources for leisure activities and consumer goods. Hold on a sec.
Don't die.
Yeah, it's that time of the day when the cough starts to come up. All right, comfortable. The character is upper middle class. They have a spacious home and a lifestyle that allows them to purchase quality products and services, a decent car, and vacations. Well off. The character is financially very comfortable and doesn't worry about their spending habits. They have several houses, luxury cars, and latest gadgets, and employees to provide various personal services. Millionaire. The character has personal wealth of several $1 million in real estate, cash, and stocks and shares. They frequent society's elite, live in luxury, have a lavish lifestyle, and always have the most expensive services, products, houses, vehicles, etc. Billionaire. The character has more money than they could ever spend, runs a financial and real estate empire, has one of the biggest fortunes in the country, etc. This category is not accessible to freshly created heroes. Your finances are determined by the profile that you have chosen for your hero. However, you can still try your luck by rolling a d6. If you roll a 6, the character has a stroke of luck and is moved up to the level of finances just above the one they were supposed to have. This explains how the homeless person can survive or, level up, if you will. If you if you roll a 1, the character suffers a setback, debts, medical bills, or something else, and is demoted to the level of finances just below the one which they would otherwise have been assigned. To learn more about finance levels and managing money, see the chapter about equipment or get yourself a budget spreadsheet. Anyway, you're
That was a little bit of personal lore there, folks. The
on the
budget
nose.
spreadsheet.
Ugh.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Actually, I do like that they at first I thought that this section was supposed to be part of the billionaire, but I do like that they give you the option to have a little bit of luck. You know, you know, like
It's
maybe
like going to Vegas, only better odds. I don't know.
no, I mean the odds are about 50-50. I mean, you got a 66% chance of
Oh,
no
it's only a
change.
6 or a 1. Okay, so anything in between is no change. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, if you
All
roll a
right.
6, you go up a level. If you roll 1, you go down a level. I do think it's fun that they added that in. Totally not necessary, but still fun. So, all right.
I think I'm gonna have to get my minion to bring me something for my cough.
I think you should. Okay. Yeah, all of this obviously is finishing off the character, but there's some good material here. So, all right, choosing the level of experience. The character's level of experience reflects the experience they've acquired over time. Level 1 is a character just starting out, whereas level 20 is so high that only exceptional characters like Batman or Ra's al Ghul can reach it, maximizing their experience, powers, characteristics, and abilities. Let's see, because I saw this come in. What happens if you are at the bottom and you roll a 1? Nothing. You're already destitute. There's nowhere to go. The whole point to that, rolling for luck is to see if you go up a level. But like, technically, like I don't even think I forget. Did
Maybe we can
Batman
make a house rule or a house rule where you turn into a cockroach.
if you turn into I think even the Batman character, the profile they give you for the Batman character is still only well off, not even millionaire. So anyways, so it gives you options. But yes, you cannot become destitute-er. All right. The level of experience of a hero or NPC doesn't reflect their age, but their acquired ability to survive in a place like Gotham City. A character who has just joined the GCPD after living in a quiet town, or someone who has decided to become a vigilante later in life, will be considered a newbie, whatever their age. Similarly, an adolescent who has lived in the roughest neighborhoods of the city before becoming the sidekick of a shadowy vigilante will be considered hardened, even if they are still in their teens. Whatever their starting level, characters gain experience over the course of their adventures, and this evolution is reflected on their character sheet. They will move up levels, receive more hit points, ways, capacities, and combat characteristics. Which I have no problems with that. I mean, like, the passage of time in a comic is, ridiculous anyways. So, it doesn't need to. I actually prefer this. Your characters are, can be immortal if they want. It's up to you and your game and how you want to, handle the passage of time. All right, choosing a level of experience. Depending on the type of characters that the players and GM want to become, character can start at different experience levels, even if they have just been created. Newbie at level 1, established at level 4, hardened at level 7, and experienced at level 10. The 4 degrees of experience are as follows. Newbie, someone who has just only started their career or arrived in Gotham City. Established, level 4, someone relatively new but somewhat experienced who has already been through quite a lot and knows how to survive in Gotham City. Hardened, level 7, someone who has already gained a bit of experience, knows which strings to pull, and can already boast about tackling the sorts of challenges that Gotham City presents to its citizens. Experience, level 10, a character who belongs to the city's elite crowd of tough individuals, someone who has survived numerous crises and can be proud of what they have achieved. All right. So, how about you tell us about the advantages of experience?
Well then. What? All right. G rated.
No, PG-13, but still.
Hold on a sec. Ugh, man. All right. Depending on the degree of experience chosen and subject to the GM's approval, the hero benefits from the following advantages, which correspond to the advantages granted by the system of experience, summarized simply below. Newbie, established. Oh, sorry, newbie, no change, established. The character's level of experience is raised to 4. Their HP increased by a number of points equal to the hero's constitution mod, to which is added the maximum on their hit points die. Either their MA or RA score, or SA for characters created in the Wonders of Gotham City mode, decided by the player, increases by 1 point. They can acquire 1 new common or superior way as long as the necessary prerequisites are met. Rather than acquire 1 common way, a character created in the Shadows of Gotham City mode may acquire a new way of shadows. Rather than acquire 1 common way, a character created in the Wonders of Gotham City mode can acquire a new way of shadows or a new way of wonders. They have 6 additional capacity points to spend in order to acquire levels in the ways they already possess or have just purchased. They must spend points to acquire a level 1 capacity or the obligatory capacity for characters created in the Wonders of Gotham City mode for the newly acquired way. They have 1 extra ethics points to attribute as desired. Hardened. The character's experience level rises to 7. Their HP increased by a number of points equal to triple the hero's constitution mod, to which is added the maximum value on their hit points die multiplied by 1.5. They may distribute 3 additional points to their MA and RA scores as desired, or SA for wonders. They may acquire 3 new common or superior ways, as long as the prerequisites are met. Note that a character can possess a maximum of 7 ways in total. Rather than acquire 1 common way, a character created in Shadows mode may acquire a new way of Shadows, or higher if the prereqs are met. Rather than acquire 1 common way, a character created in Wonders mode may acquire 1 way of Shadows or 1 way of Wonders. They have 12 additional capacity points to spend in order to acquire levels in the ways they had already possessed or have just purchased. They must spend points to acquire a level 1 capacity or the obligatory capacity of characters created in the Wonders mode for the newly acquired way. They have 2 extra ethics points attributed as desired. Experienced. The character's level of experience rises to 10. Their HP increased by a number equal to 4 times their constitution mod, which is added to the maximum value on their hit points die multiplied by 2.5. They may distribute 4 additional points to their MA and RA scores as desired, SA for wonders. They may acquire 4 new common or superior ways as long as the prereqs are met. Excuse me. Rather than acquire 1 common way, a character created in the Shadow can acquire a new way of Shadow or a superior if the recs are met. Rather than acquire 1 common way, a character can in the Wonders of Gotham can acquire 1 way of Shadow or 1 way of Wonders. They have 18 additional capacity points to spend in order to acquire levels in the ways they already possessed or have just purchased. They must spend points to acquire a level 1 capacity for the newly acquired way. They have 3 extra ethics points to attribute as desired. My apologies for all the coughing.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I actually like how they did that. The hit point seems a little low, but I'd have to look at the normal rules for advancing characters, but obviously that's going to be a few videos down the road. Cuz it's like it seems like it's just where is it? Yeah, the hit points is increased by a number equal to 4, so like for experienced, 4 times their constitution modifier, to which is added. Oh, okay, got it. So the hit point, the constitution modifier times 4 plus the maximum value on the hit points multiplied by 2.5. Okay.
Right.
Because
And
you're
that
supposed to roll the dice every level and add your constitution modifier. So I think they've done the math to give you a rough average of what you would get for all of those.
I was gonna add a comment to Robert's comment about moving out of the cardboard box and then begging for change to buy cling wrap. I don't even think that cling wrap is okay. I really am struggling to find words right now. What I'm trying to say is that all of these actresses and singers are going to use cling wrap for their clothing anyway, because it's all about revealing.
Yeah, but they get
themselves.
the good cling wrap,
Ah,
not the budget stuff that you just happen to find on the street.
correct. All right, all right.
Anyways, all right.
The cling wrap of the wealthy.
All right. Choosing the hero's ways and capacities, which for the record, ways is going to be the next video. So right now we're just talking in generalities on these. All right. Once the profile has been chosen and the level experience determined, you will have to choose the ways preferred by the character. The description of the capacities of common ways, the ways of shadows, and ways of wonders are all to be found in this chapter specifically about them. Reminder, heroes created in the Streets of Gotham City mode can only choose from the common ways. Heroes created in the Shadows of Gotham City mode can choose from the common ways and the ways of shadows. Heroes created in the Wonders of Gotham City mode can choose from all the ways. The number of these ways varies depending on the modes, profiles, and level of experience. Choosing a way requires spending capacity points in order to purchase one or more capacities for this way, costing 1 CP for every level 1 or level 2 capacity for a common way comprised in the initial character profile. 2 CP for any other capacity, i.e., levels 3, 4, and 5 capacities for the common ways, levels 1 through 5 capacities of the ways not comprised in the initial character profile, all of the ways of shadows, and all of the ways of wonders. Only capacities allow a character to gain new effects and increase the bonus of capacities whose strength is dependent on the number of levels gained in the corresponding way. This means that the player has to buy at least one capacity when acquiring a new way. When creating a hero, the player must therefore spend their CP to buy capacities in the character's initial ways. Apart from the ways of wonders, capacities have to be acquired in the order of the levels. This means that acquiring a level 3 capacity requires first spending the necessary CP to purchase the level 1 capacity and then the level 2 capacity. And Robert Gray, you are not incorrect.
I don't know who that is, but I was like thinking of like Moana or like what is that Star Wars thing? Like this is the way and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
there's so many things.
that's another good one. Yeah, the Uganda Knuckles, that's you're not internet nerdy enough to really understand that one. But
Wait, and then there was that new series by Brandon Sanderson, the Way of Kings. But you know, I just
also that
way is all over the place.
it's very common.
Oh.
All right. Note that for ways, a character cannot acquire capacity with a level higher than their level of experience. For example, it's impossible for a level 3 character to buy a level 4 capacity. All right. Special cases for the wonders of Gotham City. Ways of wonders work slightly differently, with the following consequences at this stage of character creation. Each capacity acquired in a way of wonders, including the obligatory capacity and the augmented power capacity, offers 1 extra point to the characteristic associated with the way. Apart from the obligatory capacity, Ways of Wonders capacities can be acquired in any order. Levels of strength can be bought independently of a capacity. For example, spending 2 CP allows you to buy an extra capacity and therefore 1 level and 1 characteristic point automatically associated with this new capacity, or 1 level and 2 additional points in the characteristic associated with the way in question, or an augmented power capacity for a way in which the character already has 5 levels. For example, thanks to their experience, my character has just attained 2 capacity points. They have the Way of the Fist with just the obligatory capacity for the moment. Their 2 CP allow them either to acquire another capacity from the Way of the Fist. This will raise their strength by 1 point, and the level associated with this way will increase the effects of the 2 capacities they now own, or to simply acquire 1 extra level, which will not offer any strength extra capacities, but allow them to increase their strength score by 2 points. All right, so all right, seems okay. So basically, with the Ways of Wonders, you can purchase them in any order. They don't have to go, level 1, level 2, level 3. That's fine. All right, Kim, tell us about choosing ethics.
Oh. Hold on a sec. I'm kind of confused now. What were we just talking about? I don't understand what these ways
All right.
are.
So remember, the ways are your Batman abilities. So Way of the Fist, it's like, okay, you're good at punching stuff.
We
Way of
talked about that
investigation.
way earlier. Okay.
Yeah,
Talking about the
it's
different characters.
right.
So is this like how you determine how strong those characteristics are?
Correct. Yeah. So like that CP value, the it's not character points. The capacity points. Okay, that's the points that you get to spend on your ways to develop your powers.
Okay.
So basically, what we just
Sorry.
read is how you spend the capacity points to improve your powers. The problem is
I'm wearing out fast, so my brain's just like spinning.
that's fine. The problem is we haven't talked about the ways yet. And
Right.
so, you don't quite understand
Well, and to
how
be
those work.
honest, like all of those things I just named earlier about the ways, the Mandalorian, Moana, whatever, my brain just kept thinking of Aladdin in the Cave of Wonders. Every time you said the Wave of Wonders, I'm like, the Cave of Wonders, the Cave of I'm just brain dead.
No,
I
no,
know,
not
I
those.
know.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
I'm
just remember
super.
common ways are things that a cop could do, way of shadows, things that Batman can do, and ways of wonders, things that, uh, not that it's part of this game, but just to make an example, but things that Superman can do.
Okay.
Okay.
Even though we're not in a fantasy-based game, really. Not really.
Correct, but there is that crossover. You do have those kinds of like Clayface is
Well,
absolutely a fantasy character.
I say that, but then I just realized even with Superman's just an alien from a different planet, so that's still not as fantasy-based.
That's I was just using it as far like just thinking of the different power levels.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, well, I guess we'll talk about ethics. I've talked about finances, I guess I get to talk about ethics. I'm very straight-laced here. The following rules aim to take into account the important role that the values of justice, crime, order, and anarchy have played in Batman comics for the past 80 years. They do not represent a philosophy, a belief system, or any particular way of seeing things. They're just simply a means of reinforcing the game experiences by reflecting the seriousness of what is at stake, a common theme in the adventures of Batman. This is generally manifested through bonuses obtained by the heroes under certain circumstances. Using ethics during a game is reserved for heroes only. You'll find all the details in the section of the chapter about the game system. The heroes and their main adversaries are characterized by an ethical position represented by a score from 0 to 5, and each of the four corresponding values, see the table below, indicating where they stand on the weighing scale of good and evil. A score of 0 is total indifference. A score of 1 is the character is aware of the value. Score of 2 is the character is attached to this value. 3 is the character is very attached to the value. 4, the value is extremely important for the character. And 5, this value means absolutely everything to the character and determines most of their actions.
All right. So there are 4 ethics values, which we'll read them all. I'll start and we'll just kind of go back and forth. All right. Order. Order shows how attached an individual is to public and social order, as well as their ability to follow rules, regulations, and social norms in their environment on a daily basis. Order can be used to aid crime or justice. A score of 0 indicates the character's total indifference or even disdain for order. They willingly try to bend or ignore the rules whenever this serves their own interests or those of someone they favor. A score of 1 corresponds to a character with a mild interest in order. Hawkfire, Scarecrow, Black Canary. A score of 2 or 3 reflects a growing respect for laws, rules, regulations, norms, etc., such as Batman, Batgirl, Bane, Renee Montoya, Alfred Pennyworth, Talia al Ghul. A score of 4 or 5 is for individuals whose respective order, especially public order, is primordial. Whether this order serves criminal activities, such as a member of a mafia organization or someone working for a totalitarian organization, both of which would have high crime scores or justice. Jim Gordon and Ra's al Ghul. All right. Tell us about anarchy.
Anarchy. Sure. Anarchy measures the individual's taste for disorder and defiance. It is more than simple disdain for the established laws, regulations, and rules. The higher a character's anarchy score, the less they are able to obey elementary rules and the more they will be inclined to spread chaos around them. A score of 0 indicates a character who has no particular taste for disorder or chaos, even in art. A score of 1 in anarchy indicates the character has a certain proclivity for disorder and chaos, and that they would not shy away from certain minor subversive acts in order to be creative, have fun, highlight the absurdity of the system, or serve their own interests. Like Batwoman, Robin, uh, Tim Drake Robin, and Hugo Strange. A score of 2 or 3 indicates a pronounced taste for disorder. This can come from a certain ideology or just be the result of the character's natural desire for defiance, chaos, and provocation. Azrael, Harvey Bullock, Nightwing, and Two Face. A score of 4 or 5 applies to a character for whom almost every action is aimed at provoking chaos and breaking the system and established order, which they see as harmful, unjust, absurd, or simply boring. Anarchy, the Joker, Clayface.
All right. Justice. The justice value indicates the respect of morals, good rights, and virtue. In a crime-ridden metropolis like Gotham City, this means defending victims and protecting the vulnerable against the violence and abuse they endure from those who unjustly use their power at the expense of others. However, the justice value does not always mean that the law is applied. Sometimes, when cleverly used by sly legal experts, laws and verdicts can be unfair or result in amoral judgments that punish the weak. The score of 0 indicates a character who has no particular case for justice in any form, someone who only pursues their own selfish goals and is completely indifferent to the suffering caused by injustice. A score of 1 indicates someone who has a certain code of honor and who is easily appalled by the most extreme forms of crime and injustice. Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, Carmine Falcone, and Hugo Strange. A score of 2 or 3 applies to characters for whom justice is a very important value and who are revolted by injustice, so much so that they may even choose a profession or join an organization that allows them to fight injustice. Renee Montoya, Batwoman, Hawkfire, and Spoiler. A score of 405 indicates someone ready to sacrifice everything in the fight for justice, even if it proves dangerous or life-threatening for them. Batman and the members of the Batman family.
Okay. Crime. Here, crime quantifies how the character manifests their desires or personal interests without regard for their victims or the law. The higher the score, the more likely the character will be to commit serious crimes and heinous acts, generally with the aim of acquiring wealth and power. Score of 0 is for a character who would never think of breaking the law. Score of 1 is for a character who might break a law from time to time when it's justified by the circumstances. Harvey and Nightwing. Score of 2 or 3 denotes a character for whom laws no longer have a moral connotation, but are simply impediments to them satisfying their desires. Catwoman, Clayface, Hush, and Killer Moth. A score of 4 or 5 is for characters who commit crimes habitually in their daily life without even thinking. These people have lost count of all their victims and commit serious crimes just for the fun of it, with a certain pleasure even, and without any hesitation whatsoever. Anarchy, Bane, Lady Shiva, Deadshot, the Joker.
All right. All right. The hero's ethics. When creating their heroes, players distribute their points as they wish across the 4 values. Let's see. Order, anarchy, justice, and crime. How many points they have varies depending on the level of experience chosen during character creation and is based on this scale. So level 1, you have 2 points. Level 4, you have 3, 7, 4 points, 10, 5 points. Players may choose ethics that fit their hero's profile, a trustworthy cop, a gangster mixed up in crime, or something unexpected instead, like the examples below. A GCPD officer with the scores Order 0, Anarchy 1, Justice 1, and Crime 0 will be a police officer very aware of the notion of justice, but who has problems respecting procedure, public order, and his superiors. GCPD officer with the scores of Order 1, Anarchy 0, Justice 0, and Crime 1 will be a police officer ready to bend the law a little to gain an advantage or impose order. A vigilante with the scores Order 0, Anarchy 1, Justice 1, and Crime 0 will be ready to defy the forces of law and order in order to impose justice. Vigilante with the scores Order 0, Anarchy 0, Justice 2, and Crime 0 will always have justice at the forefront of their minds, but will be careful to avoid breaking the law. A gangster with the scores Order 1, Anarchy 0, Justice 0, and Crime 1 will be a lawbreaker who has high regard for public order, even if it means imposing it in their neighborhood through violence to conduct business properly and order within their gang. Gangster with the scores Order 0, Anarchy 0, Justice 1, and Crime 1 is a criminal with a code of honor. These scores do not change with experience, but rather through the adventures and actions of the characters and are decided by the GM. They also have their uses during the game and are a condition for acquiring levels in some ways of shadows. All right. So the ethics is interesting, especially because it starts so low. Like, I'm kind of looking at it as a sort of alignment system. But it's also
what I thought too. It sounded very much like an alignment for D&D.
Yeah, but it also seems a little bit more complicated, especially this part where, like, it doesn't change with experience, but through the adventures and actions of the characters and are decided by the GM.
Right.
So,
well, it's like me going into that Medusa's cave and then getting obsessed with the spoon. Like, my priorities have changed. I'm no longer
you're no longer lawful good.
lawful good. Exactly. Exactly. That's what that's the whole scenario that I was thinking while you were reading all of that. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I've experienced that at least on a small scale.
Oh, so disturbing. All right. Tell us about languages and the hero's past, and that will bring us to the end.
Sure. The hero can speak a certain number of languages depending on their mother tongue and the environment in which they live and work. How well the character speaks their mother tongue and maybe one or two foreign languages depends on their intelligence mod. -2 or less, the character is illiterate and speaks only their mother tongue. -1 to 0, the character speaks, reads, and writes their mother tongue correctly and also speaks the language of the environment they live and work in if it is a different one. A +1, the character correctly speaks, reads, and writes both their mother tongue and the language of the environment they live and work in if it is a different one. Above +1, each mod point gives the character an extra foreign language as long as their past allows them to have learned it. And do you want me to read that?
Yep.
The hero's past. The last step in creating a character is to flesh them out a little, defining their main traits, the environments they live and work in, the details that set them apart, and the way they conduct themselves in their profession. For more details, check out Chapter 3, The Role of Heroes, Becoming a Character in Gotham City, where you'll find lots of advice about making a rounded character and bringing them to life.
Awesome. Robert Gray apparently only speaks ancient Phoenician and is afraid of the written word. Robert Gray, you're such a troll, buddy.
I can barely handle my mother tongue, so I don't know that I am a -2 or a -1. Maybe like minus.
You're probably like a 0.
5.
No, yeah, you're probably like a 0.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Like
So
I said, my
remember,
tongue gets twisted.
so remember, it's also not just language.
My brain.
So character speaks, reads, and writes in their mother tongue correctly, and also speaks the language of the environment they live or work in if it is a different one. So, like, in your case, accounting. You work in accounting. You have all sorts of terms and knowledge and language and things that you say that make no sense to me. Okay. So it's
That's not true. You took your business classes.
No,
to
I
get that
know. I
degree.
just
you
yeah.
you know a lot of what I'm saying. It's what you say about your IT world that I'm just like,
Okay.
can you dumb it down, please?
Fine. Okay. Same point. But that's one way to think about it. It's not just it's not just a language, it's the language of the environment you live and work in. I think that's actually a really, really interesting point for them to make. Yeah, and definitely can adjust how the character plays out. So that's actually really cool. All right, so that is the basics on how to make a character. Oh, look at that Batman picture. That's great.
That's pretty sweet.
Look, we got some man bat going on over there.
It's almost as good as my Catwoman picture.
That's true. All right, which I found for you. You're welcome. All right.
I mean, I don't think My Little Pony would have fit the darkness.
No, it would not.
It's not edgy.
So, all right. So that is going to do it for today. So coming up next week, we're going to look at the ways. There's 2 chapters. There's a chapter for the common ways and the ways of shadows. And then there's also a separate chapter for the ways of wonder. We're just going to combine it all because we're not going to read through everything. We're going to just kind of like we did today, where we kind of skipped over some of the profiles. We're just going to look at ones that we think are kind of interesting, and go from there.
And hopefully this annoying cough is gone.
And hopefully the annoying cough is gone. Mine is mostly gone, so we'll call that a win. But regardless, I like the way that they're putting it together. I do wish it wasn't just a point buy system for attributes, just because of the fact that it ends up with I think they're going for a little too much balance. I wouldn't mind a little bit of different balance, or let me rephrase that. A little bit of imbalance by some random attributes, but that's me being nitpicky. And it's easily something to house rule. So anyways, overall, I like the character creation. I think they're putting it together really well. Now we just need to figure out how the ways work into it.
I do appreciate Robert's suggestion of bourbon for my cough, but growing up, actually, my parents would mix in a little Jack Daniels with hot lemon tea and honey. So the medicinal aspect might have been a tiny bit of a stretch, but I do appreciate the suggestion.
All right.
I've got my tea, though, so I'll be good. There we go. Tea. Yes.
All right. So real quick, by way of announcement, tomorrow morning, I'll be back with the Alternity Game Masters Guide. We will be back with this next Tuesday, and next Monday we should be back with BattleTech Gothic. Just a reminder.
I mean, you, not me.
Not right. I will not be back with Peanut Gallery for BattleTech Gothic. Six World will be back. He unfortunately could not make it today, and yesterday, and I slept, and so that's why we didn't do that. But regardless, make sure you're subscribed so that you get notified when those new streams go live. I am obviously need to work on just some of the regular videos for the channel. Unfortunately, I am mildly distracted with the second channel, but that's a me problem.
Your channel isn't called Gaming with ADHD for no reason. So
exactly. So, anyways, so with that said, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Kim, anything you want to say before we head out?
I'm just going to point out the fact that I learned from the interwebs in the second Batman movie, Michelle Pfeiffer whipped those mannequins' heads off with her whip in one shot, and everybody was super impressed. I'm impressed. Maybe I should learn how to use a whip. That was all.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here. And of course, if you're watching this on replay, drop something in the comments. Let us know your favorite thing about Batman. So with that said, have a great night, everybody.
Good night.